Hello and welcome to the Altar Project! Today we'll be continuing our World Heritage Site series where we will be traveling to the tropical region of Yucatan, Mexico to encounter the legendary site of Chichen Itza. And in the world of Altar, we'll be building a structure inspired by the pyramid in Chichen Itza right beside the lawless town of Pirates Island. So without further ado, let's begin. On the island located most west of Altar is where we will begin today's adventure. We will be building our version of the pyramid in Chichen Itza here in a valley enclosed by cliffs. The main objective in the beginning was to somehow mimic the shape of Chichen Itza's pyramid, officially called El Castillo or the Temple of Kukulkan. To recreate the shape, it was necessary for me to build a central platform with stairs coming off each of the four sides. Now it took a few attempts to get the proportion of the pyramid just right. This called for moving around the stairs as well as cutting parts of the structures off. However, there was one feature of the stairs from the original El Castillo that I most definitely wanted to recreate in my version of the pyramid, and that is the number of steps El Castillo has. From every angle, El Castillo delineates how well the Mayans understood the concept of timekeeping and the idea of organizing it. In other words, El Castillo is basically a massive Mayan designed calendar. One such example is hidden in the number of steps El Castillo has, as each of the four staircases have 91 steps, and when including the top platform, El Castillo has a total of 365 steps, which I'm sure many of you know is the number equivalent to the number of days there are in a year. What's even more crazy is that these staircases slant at a perfect 45-degree angle and face each of the four cardinal points. So this really shows us how much the Mayans knew about the world at such an early period in human history. Other than the stairs, El Castillo is structured by 9 levels, which represent the 9 levels the Mayans believed there were in the afterlife. I didn't implement this aspect of the original pyramid into my build since I wanted the ancient civilization that built this specific pyramid to have its own unique religious system different from the Mayans. Similarly, when you count the total number of terraces present on a single facade of Chichen Itza's pyramid, you'd count that there are 18 terraces, which are the number of months there are in the Mayan year. This aspect of El Castillo wasn't reflected in my build either. Moving onwards, to completely differentiate my version of El Castillo with the original pyramid, I wanted to add more of a color variation. To make this possible, I used mossy cobblestone and stone bricks for the areas I wanted in gray and used yellow terracotta for the decoration inspired off the rectangular design from the original pyramid. Now before we jump into the last stages of completing our version of El Castillo, why don't we take ourselves on a little historical detour on the history of Chichen Itza. So before anything else, I would just like to say that Chichen Itza doesn't refer solely to the pyramid, but it is the name for the whole archaeological site located in Yucatan, Mexico. The pyramid itself is referred to as El Castillo or the Temple of Kukulkan. This remarkable structure was built around 1000 AD by the Mayan people and stands up to 30 meters tall, including the temple that sits on top of the pyramid. The temple at the top is actually what gives the structure its name, as it is a temple constructed to honor the feathered serpent deity of Kukulkan. On the other hand, El Castillo is actually a name given by the Spanish in the 15th century, when they conquered this site and used the pyramid as a lookout as well as a place to place their cannons, thus giving it its name, the castle. In addition to El Castillo's representation of the Mayan calendar, there are also so many more fun facts hidden within this single structure. One of it being that the pyramid we see today is actually a layer that covers another temple within. 2 temples actually. Due to deterioration and the changes in leadership, it has been discovered that there are at least 2 layers of preceding temples lying underneath the current structure. What is even more interesting about Chichen Itza is that the arrangement of its structures are based off of the locations of natural sinkholes called cenotes. The Mayans admired these cenotes as they collected precious groundwater and used them for various spiritual ceremonies. These cenotes are still very popular as many tourists enjoy visiting these beautiful sinkholes filled with glass-like water. Additionally, in 2015 it was discovered that underneath the Temple of Kukulkan lies a huge underground cenote that measures up to 25 by 35 meters in size. And lastly, I'll leave you guys with this photo that hints at a very cool feature from the El Castillo that I've implemented into my build. So if you guys discover what it is, let me know in the comments. So all there is remaining is to add a few stone decorations inspired by the Mayan lintels from Yaxchilan. I basically built a huge stone carving on both the roof of the temple and on the platform underneath. And I think that is about it. I did change the landscape up a little bit, but that will be explored more in a video I have planned for the future. So without further ado, let's move on to the cinematic. Yay! So that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching the building process as well as hearing the various fun facts about Chichen Itza. Chichen Itza is such a beautiful site, so if you have the chance, do look further into it through the sources I've linked in the description below. So that's about it for this video. Next week